Shirley, end the broadcast. Hi, good night, and welcome. Welcome, people, to our program this evening. I am Division Director Sandra Theodore, Division Director for Division F, and we'd like to welcome all of you all here tonight. Tonight, we want to please start off with a little prayer, for all those people who are suffering right now because of the pandemic, because of the volcanic eruption in our Caribbean island of St. Vincent. We have a lot of Toastmasters in St. Vincent that are experiencing difficulties at this time. And our brothers and sisters in India, usually the Toastmasters from India would support us a lot in our little division here. So tonight I just want to open with a prayer and say, Lord Jesus, thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for giving us the strength and the courage, even in this hour and even in this time of pandemic, that we are able to still rise up to it and do what we're supposed to do. We ask for your continued blessing, not only in this division, but on Toastmasters in general, in the Caribbean, in District 81, and worldwide. So we just ask that you continue to guide us as we try to achieve our mission in this Toastmasters region. All this I ask in your name. Amen. So welcome again. So people, today is a beautiful day, and it's a day where we celebrate our winners in our contest. So right away, I would like to introduce you to our person in charge today, and that person is none other than our PR officer, our public communications officer, Division F, Toastmaster Shirley Mohamed.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to all our contestants who would be representing Division F at the District 81 conference. And what we're doing this evening is a very informal chat. We just want you to know who our contestants are. And I would start off. First of all, I'd like to thank our division director for opening this broadcast and for her prayers to our neighbors, friends and neighbors. And I would like to start off by asking our contestants, each one of them, to tell us a little bit about themselves and their Toastmasters journey. So I'll call on Toastmaster Carline Gumbs, who is representing us at the International Speech Contest. Toastmaster Carline, give us a little bit about your journey and about who is Carline Gumbs.
Oh, wow. Firstly, good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shirley. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. Oh, to tell you about me may take a bit of time, but we'll try to make it into a table topics response, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. Carline is a trainer, is an educator, is a wordsmith, is somebody who just enjoys telling stories, enjoys engaging with people. And that is pretty much me in a nutshell. As far as my Toastmasters journey goes, I became a Toastmaster in 2015, so not so long ago. And it's been quite a journey thus far. I started at Toastmasters because I wanted to find as many ways as possible to engage with an audience. My background is workshop facilitation and training, but there's a way in which that is done. And I wanted to challenge myself with speeches and being able to tell a story in a different kind of way. I also have the challenge of trying to be succinct. I do have a tendency to just talk, especially if I really connect with people. So that was one of the things that Toastmasters really did for me, was help me to get my ideas really concretized and really in a nugget and be able to give that message, whatever message I have, powerfully and in a way that, anybody could reach audiences near and far and whoever I stand in front of. So that is essentially what brought me to Toastmasters. Of course, I've gotten many other benefits out of it and continue to do so. And it really is a great asset in my life. And I encourage anybody else to become a Toastmaster. Toastmaster Shirley, I believe you're on mute. Yeah,
Sorry, thank you so much, Toastmaster Carline. That was indeed a mouthful. And you're so right. Toastmasters offer us so many benefits. Now, I would like to ask Toastmaster Onella to tell us a little bit about her journey. And who is Onella?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Onella Maharaj, and I hail from the Toastmasters Club, Toast and Tap Toastmasters Club. Whilst everyone may have on their Toastmaster t-shirt, you will see that I have on a t-shirt that proudly says Carib. My club is primarily a corporate club, but the corporate club aside, we cannot become a successful club or have a productive club without the support of members outside of our organization. So our club is a mix of corporate as well as other Toastmasters. I was first asked or told, informed about Toastmasters by two of my coworkers. And a couple months after, I was approached by a senior in my organization, my boss, who told me about Toastmasters. So the first time I heard about Toastmasters was in Carib. And they came to me because of succession planning. They wanted to, so we actually used Toastmasters as a tool for that leadership development. And you don't only get the leadership development, you do get that public speaking, that impromptu speaking. I am a health and safety officer, HSE officer, health, safety, and the environment. Part of my job includes training. So that teaching element where you have to be able to stand and speak comfortably in front of others and portray information with confidence so that people would listen to you, especially as we are the ones that enforce the rules. It also teaches us how to communicate with persons. So my path in particular is team collaboration, and it could not have been a better fit for me. So I am pursuing the path of team collaboration, and it's really teaching you about that feedback and evaluation and active listening. And all of these tools that Toastmasters give me help me with my job currently, and I look forward to continuing to be part of Toastmasters. I've joined since 2018, and I am currently VP Ed of our club. And I would like to continue to be in Toastmasters to see how I can grow and develop as a leader in my organization and Toastmasters International at large.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Onella. I love the way you said that, you need help from outside, although it's a corporate club, because that outside help, we are community as Toastmasters, and we all have to help each other. So that's really very nice. And I also like the way you able to get Toastmasters, your Toastmastering to fit into your work environment. This is really, really something that we need the masses to know about Toastmasters. That's what it's all about. It's like improving your leadership skills and your communication skills. And you also said you wanted to be able to speak in a way to get others to listen. And that's why you're in the contest. I'm sure about that. I would now like to speak with Toastmaster, the very flamboyant Jamillah David. Jamillah, please tell us who is Jamillah and a little bit about your journey so far.
Good night, Shirley, and my fellow panelists, as well as our division director, Sandra. My name, as you've already said, is Jamillah David, and I am a food quality professional. My mission is to see the food quality standards across our country, our region, improve and reach internationally recognized standards. And so I work at that every day. I look across the panel and I realize that I am the veteran of the mix because I have been a Toastmaster for 11 years now. When I started, my entire mission was just to keep on talking because I knew through experiences that when I stopped speaking, I tend to freeze more when I spoke in public, and I didn't want that to happen. I knew the secret was to keep practicing, and I happened to fall into Toastmasters from there. I stayed with Toastmasters, however, for the leadership aspect, because through the years, I realized that my Toastmasters experiences supported my professional and personal experiences and growth. So as I received more responsibility at work in supervisory positions, team lead positions, I also, on the flip side, was doing the same within Toastmasters, having to do workshops on both sides, communicate and influence, evaluate persons, and not hurt their feelings. All I saw Toastmasters as that testing ground where I was able to practice and then take what I learned and use it in the real world, quote unquote. So that has been my journey in a nutshell, and I encourage everyone out there to take the dive, plunge into Toastmasters, visit a club near you. I am a proud member of Winners Toastmasters Club, but I consider myself a Toastmaster right across the board, especially as I recently ended a term as the immediate past area director. The whole Toastmasters fraternity is my family. So I got to know Carline that way. I got to know Onella, even you, Shirley, through our interactions. I worked with your clubs. And I just enjoy the experiences, the nuances that happen every day. I tell people Toastmasters is the only thing that I've stuck to for so long. Not even no job, no school, nowhere except where I live has held my attention for 10 plus years, 11 years now. So we must be doing something good here.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jamillah. I like you talk about standards. You know, we have some standards in Toastmasters that we have to uphold. And I particularly like our core values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And you said you were able to stick with Toastmasters because we're doing something right. And I totally agree with that. Now I'm looking at you three representatives of Trinidad and Tobago. And when I look at Toastmaster Carline, Toastmaster Onella, and Toastmaster Jamillah, I get the feeling that any one of you could have been represented in any one of the areas, be it international speech, table topics, or evaluations, because I have seen you, all of you, at work, doing the international speech, doing table topics, doing evaluations, and I feel that we are well represented. Now, what I want to ask is about the evaluation side of Toastmastering. Evaluations are so important to our meetings. Toastmaster Carline, tell us a little bit of how evaluations have assisted you in your day-to-day life. Evaluations, how did it affect you? What changed?
I think for me, the evaluation side of things really made me listen a lot more and listen for what is being said, as well as the nuances of what is not being said as well. Um, because that's what we consider when we look at communication. And the thing is about Toastmasters and evaluations, you're given evaluations, but you're given them only within a certain amount of time. So one of the things that I like to do is listen to the evaluation that is given within the meeting, and then also compare it to what is written on the evaluation form. Because of course, we get our evaluators have more time and they can put more things on a form, but they can't, there's only so much they can say within, 2 minutes of evaluation. So there's so many elements of it, and it doesn't just stop within a meeting. So it's made me think a lot more about how I get feedback in real life, what is said in the moment, and what may come to me in nonverbal feedback or at another point in time. So there's so many facets to it, but it has definitely given me a lot more awareness and has made me key into a lot of things that I may not have paid attention to previous to being a Toastmaster.
Great. Thank you so much, Carline. Yes, evaluations really, it's all about listening and giving that feedback. And as you say, the time to give feedback at a meeting is quite short. So the thing is, feedback, we like to talk about feedback as Toastmasters as being, we use what is called the sandwich method. So I want Toastmaster Jamillah David to tell us about her experience with evaluation, seeing that she is our representative for the evaluation contest. Toastmaster Jamillah. Unmute yourself, Jamillah.
Toastmaster Shirley, if I were to let you in on a little secret, I actually, and I know people have said this before, but I never thought I was going to get to the point where I would represent our division at district in evaluation. I said I'm going for international speech, but I entered evaluation because no one else was really entering. So I said, okay, I'll do that as well. But Toastmaster Shirley, I can count on my hands the number of times in my 11 years that I had won Best Evaluator at my club. And so when I saw that I was going through the different stages against persons who I knew were boss evaluators, because in the contest you don't hear anyone else's responses, especially if you're one of the last persons to present, and I have been that person. So I asked for feedback, and the feedback I received from club members who would have known me through the years, I received one particular piece of feedback, and they said, Jamillah, over the years you have become less critical in your evaluations. So when you mentioned the sandwich method, I guess I became a bit better at execution of the sandwich method. And that's the thing, when you evaluate, you don't come in as a pro. Some persons do, some people understand it and can execute it right off the bat. What they read, they can implement. Some persons take 10 plus years to get it right. And so some of the things I would say when you are evaluating is, and what is represented within the sandwich method, think of what is good about the speech, think of areas for improvement, and how are you going to put it all together in a nice package. But more than anything else, it is how you say it, how you deliver your message. Is it in a tone that is confrontational, or the person may take offense? You may be saying all good things, and in another forum, they may totally accept what you're saying. But when it's coming across bullet after bullet, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, which I guess I used to do in the past, it comes across as too much. So being able to use humor, being able to mix in the technical aspect, not making it a personal affront, but something that is general, but still personal to them, because you are, everything that you're saying is for their improvement. And I guess these are things that you can use. And I think as well, because as a supervisor, I have to evaluate my team. And it's very important that the way that you deliver your message builds a person up as opposed to break them down. So in every evaluation, I have in my head, how am I going to build this person up and not make someone who is already weak or failing, or they evaluate themselves as well and know where they went wrong as well, make them feel better about themselves and willing to go on. So those are the thoughts that I have primarily in my head as I create my evaluations and deliver them.
Wow, thank you so much, Toastmaster Jamillah. I really don't think you took 10 years to master the art of evaluations, because I have heard you evaluate and I always think that you did a great job. But the thing is, remember, at a club, you don't always have to win the best evaluator to be the best evaluator on the day. It's just the opinion of the people who are there at the time. So, don't
Yes, yes.
feel discouraged when you're not the best evaluator or the best speaker,
Oh no, I
because
didn't
you
feel
are doing your
discouraged
best.
because I continued. I continued
Yes,
doing it. I throw my hat in the ring whenever necessary,
yes, yes. That's nice. Now let me hear from Onella, because Onella she has to lead teams, she has to do training, and I'm sure at the end of training, she has to evaluate her team. Her team has to evaluate her. Oh, I'm not even seeing Onella on the screen. But let me hear from Onella, how evaluations as a Toastmaster, how evaluations have helped you in your work.
Evaluations have helped me a lot. I would like to start with me myself being evaluated. As an HSE officer, Health, Safety and Environment, and we are the ones enforcing the policies. Persons tend to look at us, the enforcers, under a microscope. So we have to carry about ourselves in that exemplary manner. So you would often hear the guys on the floor say, safety, I'm watching you, you know. So we are always being evaluated by our peers, by the factory workers on the floors, and by our management. And as working as part of a team, and you work with the people higher up than you in the organization and your peers, you will get feedback on the way that maybe you did a training session or how to improve. And Toastmasters ingrain that receiving evaluation in a safe environment where you can feel safe to receive the feedback, be open to the feedback, and then implement that feedback to change how you will give your next speech. So in the same way, I adapt that in my everyday life, including in work. I will take feedback from everyone, a 360 degrees, from management to my peers to the persons that work on the factory floor. I really listen to them and see how it is I could change maybe my approach, my tone, how I speak with them, how I deliver a message, how I do a document to improve my skills. And the same way that I look forward to that evaluation, I try to give good evaluations to other persons as well. Keeping in mind, like I said, certain things like tone, because the way you speak to people is how receptive they will be of you. And Toastmasters does teach you that sandwich approach, where you start with something positive, put something that can be improved on, and end on a positive note. And having conversations this way tends to go a lot lighter than just focusing on the negative and what you didn't do. So Toastmasters have taught me two things: how to receive that feedback and that evaluation about myself, and how to better give evaluation so that these persons I speak to are more open and to what it is I have to say, receptive to what I have to say. Sorry. Toastmaster Shirley? Thank you, Toastmaster Shirley. Can you hear me? I'm not sure what's going on. If I'm still speaking, you see.
I believe, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you fine.
Great. I believe Toastmaster Shirley might have gotten thrown off of the thing. So I will continue with our discussion until she can come back in. Let me just add her back to the stream. She's back on.
Sorry, guys. I really don't know what happened there. I thought it was Onella's, but it seems as if it happened on my end.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Yes.
The challenges of technology, yes.
Yes. Thank you, Onella. I heard most of what you said, and I like what you said about the 360 degrees feedback. You give feedback and you receive feedback from everyone, and that is really, really very nice. I think that's the way to go. We give feedback and we receive feedback, and at Toastmasters, they really teach us how to accept feedback and how to give feedback, how to listen and how to do it with that sandwich method where you use positive, you give what could be improved upon, and then you end on a positive note. So really nice. Now I want to get into the international speech because that's the most exciting thing that's going to happen at the district level, District 81, our international speech contestant. Now, how would I describe Carline? I would say Carline is very confident, she is very articulate, and I know that she's doing a good job. So the question I want to ask Carline is, Carline, how are you preparing for the World Championship of Public Speaking? Because that's how far I'm seeing. How are you preparing for the World Championship of Public Speaking?
Well, Toastmaster Shirley, without giving away too much, I would say at this point in time, and this is something that I have learned from Toastmasters, is to tap into the network and to use the people around you and to use your mentors and use your informal mentors. And we just spoke about feedback and evaluation and the importance of that. So right now, in addition to all the other methods that I'm using to prepare, I am listening and taking the feedback and applying and tweaking things and just shaping and fashioning as I go along, but really using the people in the network to represent, to help move us further along in that representation, because although I would be the one standing in front of the camera, I'm representing Division F. So
Yes.
I'm standing on the shoulders of all of those people who are
Who went before you?
who went before me, but who are
Yes,
also cheering me on and
yes.
really listening to what they have to say, taking in their tips and their recommendations, and using that as part of my preparation. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I can see the stage of the World Championship of Public Speaking, crossing all the fingers and the toes and everything. So, yeah.
Yes, keep visualizing that. Keep visualizing that stage. You're going to get there. And it's not only about the feedback, you have to prepare yourself mentally as well. You have
Yeah.
to do a lot of and the thing is, listen to a lot of other speakers and see what, sometimes when I like to look at singing shows or singing contests. And sometimes they tell people, some of the judges will say, we're not sure about who you want to become as a singer. So it's what you want to become as a speaker. So you have to focus on that as well, in addition to all the feedback you will be getting. Now
Yeah.
I want to ask Toastmaster Onella, because I have seen Onella deliver speeches as well. And I want to ask Onella, do you think that you would be the next representative for Division F in the International Speech Contest?
Toastmaster Shirley, I would definitely hope so. I do know that next year I will have my competition made for me. A little secret I never told Carline, and now is probably the best time to tell her. Girl, I went to one of your club's meeting in the beginning, and this was the virtual going to meeting. So COVID has opened up that opportunity for us to see each other virtually. And I remember one of the speeches that you did. Now, that meeting was a very entertaining meeting. Your club does a great meeting. And you had to use a prop. And you'll remember the speech as I say it. You had the hat on and the trench coat on, where you were doing the sneaky from Sesame Street. And I fell in love with you and your speech at that point in time. The way that you delivered was great. And just as Toastmaster Shirley was saying, and you were saying that you look at others and you learn from them. So, as maybe a younger Toastmaster than you, when I attended that meeting and I saw your delivery style, the confidence, the way you used that prop of your trench coat, and you said, "Psst, it is so memorable. I could see you right now." So I take from you guys, I take from the other Toastmasters as well too, and I try my best to learn from you to see how I could develop my speaking style in the future. So hopefully one day we will be rivals, but we will see what is yet to come because I know I would have great competition ahead of me. Toastmaster Shirley.
Gosh, I'm so glad I asked that question, because we would not have known about that secret. Onella going to an MDA meeting and seeing that speech. Now, the thing is, I am an advocate of interclubbing. I love all of us to be, we supposed to be able to recognize a Toastmaster in a crowd. We supposed to know each other like that, going to club meetings. Now, the funny thing is, we have been going to all these international meetings. I have been going to meetings in India, Dubai. I have gone to meetings in Papua New Guinea. And the thing is, I haven't been to another club in Trinidad. That's terrible. We need to really support each other in the clubs here in Trinidad. So I'm really glad I asked Onella that question. And now I want to ask Jamillah that same question. Jamillah, when are we going to see you next on the stage? vying for the World Championship of Public Speaking, well, International Speech Contest, representing our division in international speech. When are we going to see that next?
Well, it would have been this year, but as Toastmaster Onella said, there's stiff competition coming out of Division F, and I know that Toastmaster Carline will do us proud out there. I have represented Trinidad and Tobago at district level before. In 2012, I represented us in Guyana and I placed second there. And out of that experience, I would just like to say to Toastmasters Carline, and I reiterate what you said there, Toastmaster Shirley, that you are becoming your best presenter, your best speaker, with all the outside influences and persons telling you how to improve and what to do. You have to do what's most comfortable to you and grow in that strength. I have been more on the leadership side for the last couple of years. And so I was so happy when I threw off my AD jacket and threw off my club president and all the other roles that I was doing. And I said, this year I'm entering contest. So I'm happy to be represented in evaluations. And next year I'm throwing my hat in again. We'll see how it goes. So,
Thank you,
Shirley.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jamillah. Jamillah, I know you have been knocking on the door for a long time, and you already represented us at the district level. So it's just a matter of, as we say, developing to your best self, speaker that you want to be. Now the question I want to ask again now is, how do you feel, each one of you, how do you feel as being the first representatives for our division, Division F? I know that our division director, who is here with us, I know she is very, very proud of all three of you. But Carline, how do you feel as taking part in this groundbreaking activity? It's the first time we are going to the district as Division F. How do you feel about that?
It is an absolute honor, Toastmaster Shirley. When we found out that we were going to essentially be a division this year, it was so exciting. And that was one of the reasons why I actually said to myself, listen, apart from challenging yourself personally to get into competition mode, to get into contest mode, now is the time to do it. We are a division. Go out there, push yourself, go as far as you can get. And it is an absolute thrill. I am excited to be representing Trinidad and Tobago, representing my club, MDA Toastmasters, and I am going to give it my absolute best. But it is an absolute honor to be representing my country at this level, and I hope to get as far as I can in that representation.
Oops. Thank you, Toastmaster Carline. Now, Onella, what about you? How do you feel?
Partially, I would like to echo Toastmasters Carline's sentiments. I am honored to be part of this, a pioneer for the first time for our division and to represent Trinidad and Tobago and put us on that map once again. And also, it's an extension of the excitement that you feel when you get called to
Yes.
do table topics, and your heart rate pounds, and you get those butterflies in your stomach. I'm not sure about the other Toastmasters, but I still feel the signs, the physical feelings of excitement with my palms sweaty. And it's basically an extension of that excitement where the adrenaline pumps through my veins and I get ready like if it's a sport I'm going to do, but in reality, I'm here to deliver a speech and speak to persons. And now my voice will be heard by others across the region. So it's really a very exciting moment in my life, and it is an honor to represent my club, my company, my country, my district. Thank you, Toastmaster Shirley.
Oh, thank you so much, Toastmaster Onella, for that response. I mean, I am so proud of all you guys. I call Toastmaster Carline confident and articulate, but I could say the same thing about Jamillah, Toastmaster Jamillah, and Toastmaster Onella. You all are confident and articulate, and I think it's the best. We couldn't do better. It's the best pick that we have for the district contest. So Toastmaster Jamillah, tell me, you have been there before, but how is the experience this time around, knowing that we are a division and this is the first time we are going to the district as a division? How do you feel?
Toastmaster Shirley, if you remember last year for Toastmasters International Day, we had Sultan, Nazir Sultan, as well as Rushford. Yes, they came and they spoke to us about when Toastmasters first started, the genesis of it here in Trinidad and Tobago, why it came. And at that meeting, he had given us the first gavel that
Wow.
the first club in the country ever had. I
Wow.
feel in this moment as though 30 years from now, and I'm with my walking stick, some young Toastmaster is going to come and ask me to make a presentation about what it was like being one of being the first evaluation speech contender for our division in its division status. And I feel like, we are making memories here. And I'm just basking in it. Sometimes you just, even in the hustle and the bustle of the practicing and the taking feedback and the flutters and the nerves and the everything, sometimes you just have to just be still and realize that whatever the outcome is, this is still a momentous occasion, and just be proud of that and just experience it. That's how I see it. Toastmaster Shirley.
Toastmaster Jamila, I really love the way we as Toastmasters have this really vivid imagination. Imagine Jamila could see herself 30 years down the road with a walking stick, you know, and that's what it takes to be a Toastmaster. You have to have a certain amount of imagination, and I appreciate that. Now, we almost at our closing, and I would like to turn, I will call it turning the virtual lectern to Toastmaster Carline, since she's the one that we all going to be cheering for. Toastmaster Carline, give us some final words.
Toastmaster Shirley, I think it would be also remiss of me not to say or not to mention the fact that we also have 3 women representing the division at this level.
Yes.
I distinctly remember doing a speech at our club meeting some time ago, talking about women in leadership within Toastmasters. And I think we also need to remember that I believe it was 2019 where the 3 people, the top 3 placements of the World Championship of Public Speaking were women. So I would like to say to my fellow panelists to encourage you. I'm rooting for all of us all the way so that we can possibly have that hat trick at the district level, not just for Trinidad, but also for women. I see a lot of potential in all of us, a lot of great ability, and I know that we are just going to make the division, the country, and all of Toastmasters shine. And I can't wait, and I'm looking forward to it with a lot of excitement and enthusiasm.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Carline. I would now highlight our Division Director, DTM, Distinguished Toastmaster Sandra Theodore, to wrap everything up. What did you think of our session this evening? How did we do? What do you think about the three women here who are, and you yourself, it seems as if the women are really stealing the show. We are stealing the show. There are so many men in Toastmasters, but we are stealing the show. Not to put the men down, because we have some really good speakers as well. Great speakers who are men. So what have you...
Shirley, I am extremely, there's so much emotion coming out of me today. I feel extremely proud of our three Toastmasters here, ladies, entering the competition. And I remember the last time we entered competition, I believe it was back in 2019, when we had young Khalifa based then entering the international speech competition for Trinidad and Tobago. And it took a lot to get her to Bonaire. She was doing her studies, her exams, an A-level student, and the contest fell smack in the middle of her exams. She had to get approval from the ministry. She flew to another country, did it in that country, then came across to Bonaire just in time to do her contest and fly back home because she had exams the next morning. And she came second representing Trinidad and Tobago, and that was the proudest moment of my life, being there to see this young girl, coming in second for Trinidad and Tobago. And I know that with these three ladies here, we will get the same thing. We will get the same thing. I am proud of you all. I stand here and I heard Jamillah talk about that.
Yes.
This is when we became a division. We got this from our founder in Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. Sultan. Okay, and I felt that I should bring it and see. So Toastmasters is, not only about communication and being able to stand in front of a crowd and speak fluently and speak, the good English language, but it's also about leadership. So as you get into Toastmasters, you grow. So we have three leaders in front of us here today. They have grown from when they started into the organization. So I encourage, the whole of Trinidad and Tobago and by extension, the Caribbean and in the district to join a Toastmasters club. The contest is the culmination of seeing how you have grown into the person that you are today. So I want to thank these ladies. We are creating history. We are creating history. This is the first time that we are a division. Before, we operated together with Suriname, Guyana, and Grenada as one. But we worked hard and we are now a division on our own, Trinidad and Tobago. So I am the first division director, and we have places to go in Trinidad and Tobago. We are now opening up and people are, coming on to find out what is this Toastmasters. So I'm extremely proud today to be a part of this, seeing these three ladies go forward. I'm rooting for you all and I expect nothing less than coming home with a trophy. All right? So thank you so much, ladies. Thank you so much. And you're doing wonders. As you said, you booted all the men out in this year, but we are going strong. We are going strong. Back to
Okay.
you, Shirley.
Thank you so much, Division Director. So it's a momentous occasion for me too. Now, Khalifa came in second, but this time we have 3 contestants, and all 3, we expect them to come in first. Oh gosh, I'm not putting all that pressure on you guys, but we expect you to come in first. And for me, it's a momentous occasion because when Carline raises that World Championship of Public Speaking trophy, I would be saying, yay, I had interviewed Carline on our division leg. I had Onella, I'm rooting for you as well, and Jamillah, because any one of the 3 of you, and I'm not counting out myself, because, I have been taking part in contests as well. Not doing so great as the rest of you, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So with that said, I would like to thank our division director, and I would like to thank Toastmaster Carline Gumbs, Onella Maharaj, and Toastmaster Jamillah for spending this time with us. And I wish you all the best. And this is just the beginning of our campaign. By time you hit that stage at District 81 conference, everybody is going to know the showstoppers from Trinidad and Tobago, the game changers and the showstoppers from Trinidad and Tobago. So I wish you all the best and good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.